Hello princesses, and welcome back to Not Fit for Print Beauty with me, Rebecca. Today we are here to talk about a brand new limited edition 9-pan eye palette from Nars. This is the Climax eyeshadow palette. It is limited edition, as I said, and $49. Currently on the Nars website, which I'll have linked, and I will update my links as it becomes more readily available. Before we go any further, a big thank you to a community member here, Jessica. She and I were talking in comments actually back and forth about this palette, and she saw it pop up for sale on the Nars website and let me know. So I grabbed it for us to take a look at. So big thank you to you, Jessica. And I have just been loving everything Nars lately. To me, they can do no wrong. And I know a lot of people have said, oh, their palettes are looking the same. As I always say, how much can you change an eyeshadow palette? Honestly, guys, unless we go into crazy fluorescence, which frankly look cool editorially, but no one wears. So this one, though, is a little bit of a departure for Nars, and I want to talk about it, and I want you to stick around to the end. We're going to do a demo, and I want you to stick around to the end to hear my thoughts, because I do have some very precise thoughts on this one, not just compliments. Not criticism, but some pointed thoughts. I'll let you see that. Okay, so again, this is the Climax eyeshadow palette. Take a look at it up close there. I'll get the mirror out of your way. It is $49, limited edition. Also part of the Climax collection that was just released is their liquid liner for $24. I didn't pick that up because I'm not a liquid liner kind of lady, but that you might be. I wanted you to know it's available. We've had a slew of new liquid liners from Natasha Denona and Huda and now Nars. So if that is your bag, make sure you pick that up. But speaking of the 9-pan eyeshadow palette, let's take a look at it here swatched on my arm. Again, it's $49. Some beautiful, dusty, darker, gloomy in a good way shades, as you see, and lots of nice greens in the olive kind of centered way. Really, when I picked this up, I assumed this would be my kind of palette. It's colors without being too bright. A little bit drab, some might say, but definitely those olive greens. We even have a little bit of a kind of a gray blue in there. Everything kind of tends towards the deeper, darker, cooler tones. I mean, there's some brighter, warmer shades in there, but you know what I'm saying. Definitely a deeper, darker, moodier palette. We have mattes, metallics, and they're all multi-dimensional, and they can be used wet or dry, as most shadows can, but Nars does advertise that these are wet dry formula, so that's really nice, especially if you want to use it as a liner or really get some impact. Really interesting, I noticed now on the Nars site they give a little bit of a warning about dusty shadows. Basically what they say is their shadows are so finely milled, and they are, that sometimes a little bit will kick up in the pan when you go to use them, and they don't want any misunderstandings, and they don't want anyone to think that is because they are cheap or made with filler. They just want you to know it's because they're light and airy. So that was kind of a nice little warning. I did notice a teeny bit of that kick up while we do our demo, which you are going to see right in just a moment here. But let's try to recreate this look that you see I have going on right now, which is like a little bit of 90s meets 2021. Let's take a look. Okay, let's dig in. There are shade names, and I will post them underneath when I'm editing, because you have to turn it over and flip it around, so I won't do that, but I'm really trying hard to make sure that you guys know the shade names, because so much feedback came in that is helpful to you guys, so I will be sure to do that. And right now I won't mention them because I don't know. Okay, so let's get started with a nice fluffy Sonia G Sky Brush into just our very boring, basic first shade there, just to get it all over the eyes. Now I want to kind of jump all around this palette. I'm not going to work in quadrants. I mean, there's 9 shades, so I just kind of want to get quite a few of them on. And yeah, I'm just kind of slathering this on. This is essentially just kind of a skin shade. And then I'm going to use that same Sonia G brush to just go into the second shade here, which is a tad bit pinker, rosier, just to kind of get something in the crease. Moving in little circles and up, because I have hooded eyes. And then maybe just for fun, going in with a thinner brush and just running that one just kind of gently under the eyes. always becomes a wet shadow. These fortunately are easily wet dry. Always becomes a wet shadow when I go into the eyes because it gets a little bit of tears on it, and that's okay. Okay. Now I'm really interested mostly in these greens. I think these greens are pretty outrageously cool. So let's start with just kind of a big fatty brush here from Sonia G, and I'm going to go into this green. And they do tell us that these could be powdery, and that was a tad bit powdery, but they want us to know that is not a fault. That is the shadow. Okay, and I'm going to use my fingers there a little bit too. God's gift to makeup application are our hands. I don't tend to find green palettes I really love, which I suppose is okay because I have green eyes. I'm supposed to be the purple palette person, but I just like the color green, especially when it's olivey. I don't know. We'll see how this comes along. Let me take that skinny brush again. I'm going into that same shade. It's here on my table, but you know which one it is right here. And just a little bit under. What I really want to play with is this kind of metallic-y shade. I don't know what I want to do with it though. I was going to put it on with my fingers. I think I'm actually going to take this same brush, because why not? And I'm not even going to tap it off. And I think I just want to go under the eye with it and see what that looks like. It's got some gold in it. Yeah, a little bit of fallout because I'm applying it with a brush. Fallout does not bother me. You have to make your own decisions on that yourself. I kind of like it. It's a little bit too smoky for me. I like something a little brighter. So let's brighten it up, cleaning off my hand there. And I'm going to go in here to this shade right here. That is not really sparkle. It's much more metallic, but that should brighten it up, really. Let me just kind of put it in the center there and just smooth it out. I don't want it to cover up the shade, but do you see how it kind of brightened up the eye look for me a little bit? Not so dull, just in the middle, and then a clean finger, or cleanish finger, I should say. And just kind of spreading it out just to give it a little bit of light. If it goes too grungy and dark, it's a great 90s look, but that's also a tad bit dated. Going to pull from my Kiyaki set from Sonia G and go into this here, and then just get a teeny bit of it here. And I always over apply here and have to go in, but I do not over apply when I close the eye to get into the center corner there. You won't over apply if you close your eye on that portion. And I think that lightened it up a bit, maybe a tad bit more. It's just right there. So I just want it to be a little bit brighter, or your face kind of sinks in, or certainly mine does anyway. So I'm much, much, much happier with that. And it is a bit sparkly, but I just wanted to lighten it up. It's a very grungy, dingy in a good way, but dingy palette. This is definitely kind of fall, autumnal colors. Let's come back with a little bit of mascara on and we will discuss. Okay, I'm back adding in a little bit of that kind of purple tinged Wayne Goss liner and some mascara just to complete the look. You know what this reminds me of? Two things, and they're both retro. In 1993, if you're a fashion file like me, I've just worked in the fashion industry forever, but if you follow that industry, you'll know. In 1993, when grunge was at its height, Marc Jacobs did a grunge collection for the Perry Ellis line. It was a tragedy and got him fired. But it's become kind of iconic, and he recently reprised it. Grunge is kind of coming back. And the other thing I think of is the movie Breakfast Club, where Molly Ringwald redoes, the kind of grungy character, and now I can't remember the actress's name, makeup, and she first wipes off all this dark goop that she has on her eyes in order to make them brighter and lighter. So these kind of two retro and 80s and a 90s reference come in. Grunge, retro grunge from the 90s is definitely kind of keeps wanting to sneak in, and that's what this feels like to me. It's very grungy. It's very overcast day, which I am a fan of, don't get me wrong, but yes, to me this is, Pearl Jam, Soundgarden, Mudhoney. This is, it's grungy. So yeah, take that for what it's worth. If you love that dark olive color, like my shirt here, you know, darker hues, this is going to be you. It's a very fall kind of rainy day palette. Do I like it? Absolutely. Will I reach for it all the time? I would have to be in the right mood and the right outfit. It is definitely grungy grunge, and that's okay too. There's room for all of it. So hey, don't accuse them of doing the same palette over and over. So that's my theory on it. Do I dislike it? Absolutely not, but it's very grungy and it's dark. It's a moody palette. That's a good way to put it. It's moody, and I feel like I need to wear my flannel shirt and sit in a coffee shop on a rainy day in Seattle, the home of grunge. So that is my thinking. Take that for what it's worth. Let me know your thoughts below, and let me know if you are digging this eye look or if you find it a bit too grungy. How can grungy be too grungy? It maybe it can. Let me know your thoughts below. I would love to hear them. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. I sure hope that you did. And if you haven't already done so, please subscribe to my channel. I will see you all very, very soon in the next video. Bye-bye.